Hey guys, welcome back to the Life Side podcast. My name is Shola. I'm your host. Thank you for tuning back in for another episode of the Light Side. I apologize for the last couple of weeks. I had some unexpected illnesses. Of course, you never expect an illness, but yeah, I had some hiccups in terms of getting my episode done last week, and then this week I have been sick back-to-back days, and I wasn't sure if I could record today. I'm a little short of breath, so please excuse, and yay, let's get into it. I have a few episodes planned out in terms of talking about manifestation stories, but before doing that, it kept coming to my mind that I should share what I learned on TikTok this past year. That what really shook me when I learned, because it is so ingrained into my life, and that was learning that I have aphantasia, which is a condition where a person is unable to visualize things in their mind. It's another term for it is being mind blind, but really the term is a Greek word where a means without and phantasia is like a mental image, so without imagination is how they call it. But honestly, I don't know if that's true, because I imagine things, but I can't vividly see them. So I do want to clarify that aphantasia is not considered an illness or a disorder that needs healing, but it's just a variation in how we experience our visual capacity, or our visual capacity mentally. Like, we cannot see things from a mental imagery perspective. There is really no neurological underpinning or variability of human imagination that has been understood from aphantasia. The research is still evolving, but I'm sure there are some ways and approaches and practices, and we'll find out ways in which people enhance their visual capacity with aphantasia. Maybe I'll be one of those people, who knows? But in the meantime, I wanted to familiarize anyone who's not familiar with it, what it is, how it impacts you, and the common misconceptions. I literally was on TikTok when I heard somebody sharing a story that they had seen people share that they can vividly visualize things when they close their eyes to imagine something. When I learned about this, I was like, what is this person saying? They're saying that people can actually vividly visualize and see things when they're visualizing. Like, they can actually vividly see what they're visualizing. No one can see things when they're visualizing. And then I proceeded to check the comments. And when I was checking the comments, I was mind blown that people were saying, no, yeah, I can visually see, I can vividly see. And I was like, wait, what are these people saying? So then I went and Googled it. And when I Googled it, I saw all this research that provided imagery on how to do the aphantasia test. So if you're not sure if you have aphantasia, if you just Google it, there is tests that you can just look at on Google Images in terms of where you stand on the aphantasia spectrum. And literally, I was just floored. I was sending it to my friends, like, wait, did you know about this? I just learned I have aphantasia. And people were like, wait, no, you're kidding. You can't see anything. And people were surprised that I couldn't see anything. And I was surprised that they could see something. Like, it is like the funniest thing. And man, I will have to say, though, that it has not hindered. I saw comments of people saying, this is something that really struck out to me when I first learned about it, was I saw comments of people saying, like, I can't manifest. This sucks. Like, what a disadvantage I have that I can't manifest because I have aphantasia. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've had aphantasia my whole life, and I've manifested everything. Like, I've manifested a lot in my life. And that's the next episode of this podcast. I'm going to share all my manifestation stories, or the things that I've manifested. But that can't be further from the truth. So just because you can't vividly see doesn't mean that you can't imagine, and does not mean that you can't manifest. You just have to use your feeling powers, and you have to really use your imagine, like, I guess we know what it's like to be blind in some ways because, when I close my eyes and I visualize, I purely see pitch black. And through that pitch black, I still imagine seeing a green apple. I still imagine seeing the sun, even though I don't see it. And so people with aphantasia really have to figure out strategies for doing things that rely on your visual sense, your visual memory, and your visual capabilities. So no mental imagery, but there are ways to adapt. And it seems to be that most people don't know that they have aphantasia. They don't know any different. So I guess one could say it's debatable how much it actually impacts your life, but if you're unsure if you have aphantasia or not, here's a little test. So if somebody were to tell you to imagine being on the beach and imagine the ocean waves clashing, that you would see the ocean waves crashing. And that, if somebody told you to imagine an orange, you would see an orange. And there's different levels on the aphantasia spectrum. Like some people have it where it's really vivid and others just see an outline, when others see a shadow. And for some, it's just pitch black. And for me, it's been pitch black for as long as I started visualizing. And what really shook me about this was that I do so many visualization meditations. I even tell people to visualize when I share the steps of manifesting. And so to learn that I have this inability to actually visualize and people can truly see things when they're visualizing, my mind was blown. I could not wrap my head around it. And so I guess what I want to clarify is that aphantasia is still incredibly imaginative. So it's not without imagination, as the Greek words imply. It's just that you can't experience the mental image like people can when they're visualizing. Like, I honestly think for me it might be a good thing because I feel like if I could visualize, I don't know if I could get anything done because I'd probably close my eyes and just imagine things that I want to bring into my life experience. But just think the power. So if you don't have aphantasia and you can close your eyes and see vividly, think about your power as a creator. Because really, if I break down manifestation really quick for us, it's really step 1, ask for what you want. Step 2, really be thankful for it and phrase it in present tense. Really feel the feelings of it, visualize having what you want, and feel how it would feel having what you want. The thing is for me personally, I can't visually see vividly, but I can feel the feelings really strongly. I think my feelings really compensate for my inability to visualize. And so I think imagining that somebody has the ability to feel the feelings, which most people do, and being able to see it, it's just, the sky would be the limit in terms of manifestation. Like, how freaking cool. That is such a massive superpower. So if you don't have aphantasia, I really want to stress how much your life can shift if you use your visualization powers, your visualization capabilities to imagine the life that you want to live every single day for at least 5 minutes and see what you manifest. Like, your life will absolutely change. Which, if you haven't already listened to the Law of Attraction Manifestation podcast episode I did, I highly suggest going back to that and listening to the deep dive I did on Law of Attraction. I'm definitely not promoting that things appear like magic, but if you truly believe, if you truly put your heart and soul and mind into believing you are deserving, that you are worthy, that you are capable of the things that you want to bring into your life experience, and you take the steps that I share in terms of writing, scripting, visualizing, speaking into existence, being grateful for it, you can manifest the things that you want to experience. And most importantly, feeling what it would feel like through the visualization process, you can bring what you want into your life experience. Okay, small tangent, back to this episode. To my defense, which, I don't think I'm actually defending myself here. I'm just sharing a story of aphantasia, and if others may have it, I guess to inform you. It seems like the term is relatively new, and I was like doing more research on this. Like the term was placed by a professor in 2015, and honestly, that's the year I moved to New York City. I was super busy with my corporate career. I wasn't really looking into these things. I've never been a huge follower of news. And so, though the condition has always existed, there wasn't really a formal term for it. I don't think people talked about it. And so it's like in more recent years that extensive studies have been done on this, and people are learning more about it. So, like, what I've learned is that to have aphantasia is pretty rare. And by rare, I mean only 1 to 3% of people have aphantasia. And through conversations with family and other people, I'm learning that it is pretty rare. Most people I know can visualize and can vividly see things. I'm super jealous because I just think like, wow, that would be so incredible to be able to escape to this world that you can visualize in your mind when you close your eyes. A question that people always ask me when they learn that I have aphantasia is, are you able to dream? And yes, absolutely. I dream, and I can dream very vivid dreams. I think there's a term for it as well, where I have dreams that have actually happened many, many times. Like, it's actually a little creepy. They're not the exact replica, but it's exactly what the dream was about. So it's not that the imagery is the same or that everything looks the same, but the events of the dream will happen. And so I do have really strong sense of feeling. I'm very empathetic. And so I have this whole theory that maybe it's people who have other gifts don't have the ability to see with aphantasia. So like, you don't get to have it all. I feel like that's, not to have a limiting belief thrown out there at you, but it just feels like it is really hard to be on the spectrum of having everything, and it's more about enjoying what you do have and being happy with what you have in this life experience. But getting very philosophical there. But in terms of how aphantasia will impact you, if you have aphantasia or if you know someone who has aphantasia, it's good to know that aphantasia does affect the person's memory and their ability to recall places and faces and memories. So, maybe people might not notice that, oh, what's a big deal? But, one of the reasons why I think I've been able to connect the dots as to why I take so many pictures is because of my condition. I genuinely cannot remember a lot of memories. And I always thought like, wow, why do I have such a bad memory? But it's because of aphantasia. It's literally proven by the research that has been done that it does impact our ability to recall things. And so be easy on your friends that have aphantasia. Like, don't be so hard on them if they forget something or they can't remember the face or a place. It's not because of not being mindful or not caring. It's just literally aphantasia, unfortunately. We can't really relive past experiences the same way with people that have mental images that are vivid. So like, it's definitely a big gift to be able to vividly imagine things. And so the other thing to know is that aphantasia does not affect your creativity. I think I like to be an example, exhibit A. That sounds so arrogant, but honestly, I find myself to be very creative. I've been writing since I was really young, probably 12, and creating videos, editing them, just all things creativity. I really love the field and doing things in a unique way to express my creativity. And so clearly it doesn't rely on my ability to visualize. I'm still doing okay. Interestingly enough, my dreaming ability is not impacted. And so it's like really mind-blowing to me. And I think that's probably why I didn't know my entire life, is that I have really vivid dreams, and I share my vivid dreams with my family, with friends, and they're really beautiful at times, and they're very unique. A lot of dreams I've had, most people I know haven't had similar dreams to them. They're just so out of this world. So somehow my ability to dream is not correlated to my ability to visualize while I'm awake. And so I read that some people similar to me have really vivid dreams while other people don't. And so what I'm learning through all the research that I'm doing about aphantasia is that everyone's situation seems to vary. It's very case by case. For the most part, the people that I have been able to connect with on social media that have aphantasia as well seem to have a really strong empathetic feeling sense of intuition. But again, it's so hard to know. Like, I only know 3 other people, so I can't really make a statement that's broad about people that have aphantasia. It's a small sample size. But I also have been surprised by how skeptical people that don't have aphantasia are of my condition. A lot of them question it and say, like, are you sure? Have you tried visualizing this? Have you tried visualizing that? And it's just like, yes, I've literally been one of the people that frequents visualization meditations on YouTube and through classes, and I even led and guide visualization meditations. I actually want to do one for this podcast, and so I wish I could see when I'm visualizing. I want it more than anything. I mean, I would love to have the ability, the gift to visualize, but unfortunately I don't, and I have no good reason to make up that as a fact, right? Like, I would love to be able to visualize, but literally my entire life I haven't been able to. I always see pitch black. And so, in terms of, I hear people saying that you can train your mind's eye so that you're not mind blind. I'm looking into ways that could be done, but it's, I guess, is it impossible? I don't know, but there are ways where people say you can take like mind's eye guided imagery. Again, I've been doing visualization meditations for so long, and I haven't been able to visualize. And I thought that everyone was pretending to see what they're seeing. I didn't realize that people actually conjure images mentally, which is such a superpower in my mind. I'm sure that more to come on this in the field, but I thought to share such a quick episode. I thought it was also fitting given that I've had the flu and I've been pretty sick, and today is my first day feeling better and normal, and so I thought to come on and share this before next week's episode where we talk about manifestation stories. I'm so excited to share them with you. And I would love to hear your feedback on what kind of episodes you want to hear more of. And if there are ideas on topics, guests you'd like to have on, if you would like to join the podcast, please reach out to me. I would love to hear what you want to talk about. And yeah, if this resonated with you, if you know someone who could benefit from hearing this, please share this with them. I'm sending you tons of love, and we'll speak to you next week.